Ali. So that is half-time. Manchester City are leading Wolves 2-0 in a very enjoyable first half, especially for those of us with Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland in our fantasy football teams, which I think is actually all of us here. I'm still joined in the studio by Steven McInerney and Paul Dickov. Paul, great 45 minutes from City, very happy.
Yeah, fantastic. I think we said before that it's important we go off to a good start, you know, because it can be quite an intimidating place to go. And then that man, there he is, we spoke about before the game, absolutely buzzing for him. You know, a couple of minutes in, getting his goal, and what a good goal it was as well.
Yeah, and considering we'd heard him getting boos when he was getting off the coach, obviously back to the West Midlands there, silencing any boos or any critics there within the first 2 minutes of the game was a perfect start, Stephen.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Grealish lives for games like this, actually. He enjoys a little bit of needle and a bit of atmosphere. And that goal was big for him as well, actually. Once again, talking about, you know, some people criticised performances recently. You could tell that meant an awful lot to him. He was really up for it, you know. I think he likes the game with his back's against the wall a little bit. He's got to prove the crowd wrong. And he's no stranger to boos, unfortunately. He's been getting him since he joined Man City, but this is a Midlands game, you know, and as a Villa boy, this would have meant an awful lot to him. And look how happy he is there. I love it.
I agree. He really does seem, Paul, like the sort of player that likes that kind of like, all right, you boo me, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
He is, and do you know what? He was brave in the goal as well. You know, it was a really good build-up. Great ball again by Kevin De Bruyne and an assist, but he's got himself in amongst the Wolves defenders set off, and it was a great. I know people say it was a tap in, but it was great composure in it. Because, you know, balls come in a lot of pace. He's just got to get his foot in it and guide it in. And they done it, and you know, we're all buzzing for him, I think, and you can tell he's buzzing as well because he takes a lot of unjust stick from me. You know, I think he's an easy target for people outside the club, and look at his price tag. But we said before the game, he's only doing what his manager wants him to do. If he wasn't, he wouldn't be in the team. But he's starting again today, and you know, more than anybody else out there, I'm delighted for Jack.
Yeah, people might say it was a tap-in indeed, but for me, Stephen, he had to be there, and he was in the right place, which isn't a place that we actually often see him.
There's a lot of strength as well to get to the ball. If you watch it back, there's a lot of desire there, an awful lot of pace and strength, and he was desperate to get to that ball head of the defender. And yeah, once again, it's down to the movement. I mean, tap-ins only happen if you're in the right place at the right time, and that's as obvious, but it's sort of true. And you can tell he wanted that. And maybe it was, you know, maybe it was criticism, or maybe it was the fact that it was, you know, a game that means something to him personally. For whatever reason, he wanted to get to that ball first, and he did, you know. And it's not that easy because everyone would be doing it otherwise.
Yeah, he did. He got there, and Manchester City were 1-0 up within the first 2 minutes of the game. It took another 14 minutes for Erling Haaland to become the first ever Premier League player to score in his first 4 away league games. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? He scored in his first 4 Premier League away games to make it. Now, if I'm going to dob us all in, and I apologise, gents, we had to sit for a minute and try and remember how many goals he'd scored, because we were starting to get confused between how many he'd got in the Premier League and the Champions League. But we double-checked with ourselves, and we worked out that that is 11 goals in 7 Premier League games for Erling Haaland.
7, well, 6.5, really, isn't it?
Well, 6.5, yeah.
You see, I struggled once we got over 10, and I struggled with counting after that.
We did. We started going, well, how many did he get in the Sevilla game? How many did he get? But, wow, I mean, just...
Imagine
incredible.
if he completed 90-minute games as well. He's always off after an hour as well. It's I think he's averaging now a goal every like 40-odd minutes in the Premier League, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And he looked frustrated as well. We were laughing at him coming off the pitch. He looked frustrated that he didn't get second goal when the ball was crossed to him, and he nudged the camera out the way. He looks like he was furious that he didn't give second.
Because these standards, you know, he would have felt that little half chance he had at the end he should have scored, and that's what you want. You know, he doesn't just settle for scoring a goal or mediocrity. He wants to get as many goals as he can. And it was only a half chance. You know, the balls come into him, his touch, and the defender's done well. But he was fuming with himself. But I love that.
If he carries on at this rate, this goal-scoring rate in the Premier League, 57 goals he would have for. Like, what a phenomenal... It just seems ridiculous. What I'd like to to highlight, though, on this particular goal, Paul, is the fact that he's picked it up so far out. You know, we mentioned before the show, people trying to bring him down, desperately trying, saying that he's only scored, inside, a few yards out. This time, he picks the ball up from 30 yards. He drives the ball forward and he shots. I reckon he shots about 20 yards out there. It was a different side to him that you know, to see again, and his right foot.
I know, but these people that say he only scores tap-ins have obviously not watched him throughout his career, because he scores all types of goals: left foot, right foot, volleys, inside the box, outside the box,
karate kicks.
Yeah. A lot of them. So, but no, look, when he picks that ball up, he's put the fear of life into both defenders. You know, he's running at them. I think it's Kilman. because you know he's left-footed, he's sort of ushered him onto his right, thinking it's his weaker foot. And as soon as he backs off, there's one thing in his mind, and that's shooting. You know, gets the ball out his feet with his so-called weaker foot 20 yards out and puts it in the bottom corner, you know. And he'll score all types of goals this season. He will. It's not just the tap-ins. The tap-ins for centre-forward are the best goals that he score, because that's your bread and butter. But goals like that today, as soon as they backed off him, I'm just thinking in my head, goal.
Well, as soon as he picked up the ball, the three of us went, oh. Yeah. There was like an instant air of anticipation with him just having the ball. Yeah,
he has that magnetism, I guess, to his game. You know something's going to happen. It's because he probably doesn't get many touches. When he does, he usually scores. But he had probably about twice as many touches he had previously in the 10 games combined for that goal. But yeah, when he got the ball, that pace, that power he's got, and a little bit of space running into, he kind of had a feeling something was going to happen. And it's got to the point once again now when he scores, I just laugh. I jump up, but I just burst out laughing because he's that ridiculous. And I guess there's something wonderful about his inevitability as well. Like, if City are playing well, you know he's going to score. And we've only had one occasion where that hasn't happened, admittedly. But yeah, he's just absolutely phenomenal, and you can't stop him. You know, he's shown once again. He's shown onto the right, 20 yards, weak foot, bottom corner.
It's that different dimension it gives us over the last couple of seasons as well. Because when he picks that ball up 30 yards out, one thing in his head is shoot.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot, I'm going to drive it, I'm going to shoot. Whereas previous seasons, we've not had that number 9.
No.
And the players are unselfish. They would have picked the ball up and they would have looked to get 2 or 3 passes in before they do it. As soon as he gets that space in front of him in his head, he's going to shoot.
So the other kind of big talking point, obviously, from that first half is the red card. So in the 33rd minute, Collins is sent off for Wolves for, I mean, an extremely high challenge, boots in Jack Grealish's kind of lower chest, sort of stomach area. It was an absolute instant red card. No need for VAR to take a look at it. And it was, as we kept saying, sure, not intentional, but wow, Stephen, it was a high challenge.
It's like he's lost his head a little bit there. I mean, by every checkbox, that's a red card. You know, he's high, both feet off the ground. He's caught him in the midriff. He's not even looking at the ball. He's looking at Grealish. I think he's got confused and jumped up, but he's so out of control and it's so reckless. And there's a little bit of force to it as well. It's just the most indisputable red card you'll probably see. And I don't know what's caused it. And he did look frustrated with himself, to be fair. I heard Alistair, and so on in the commentary saying maybe he didn't mean to hurt him. And I don't think he actually did. But look, either way, he's made an absolute huge mistake there. And the end result was reckless. So, you have to walk, unfortunately.
Yeah. He's had a head loss. I mean, when the ball bounces first, him and Jack
they're
both a bit hesitant.
Yeah.
As if, shall we do it? And as soon as Jack comes back, I think he's just made up his mind that he's going to go for it. But even if he gets the ball, I think whether he meant to hurt Jack, get him where he did. I've been in that situation before, and even if you do get the ball, you're going to follow through and let him know that you're there. The fact that he missed the ball and where he caught him just makes it even worse.
Yeah, in terms of the Wolves' performance in that first half, despite the fact that they're 2-0 down, and they do have this reputation for being a heavily defensive team, Stephen, they did still have some moments where they were attacking, where they did look positive, and they had a couple of free kicks as well in that first half. What did you make of their performance? Yeah,
to be fair to them, they kept going at City, and obviously they tested Ederson at one point and a couple of little darting runs from Neto, and of course you don't want to give Ruben Neves too many, spotters from 20 yards out, because he eventually will put on the top corner. And you can see that they've got a lot of ability there. It hasn't really happened for him so far. I'm not trying to patronise him, obviously, but they have quality there. And maybe Costa is something that they lack there. Maybe they do need a guy who can put the ball in the back of the net, because they've got ideas and a lot of heart and so on. It hasn't really happened for them today or in the league so far. But they've clearly got very good technical footballers, and they'll be absolutely all right, Wolves.
So 45 minutes down, another 45 minutes to go for City, and we are 2-0 up. Now, tomorrow also sees the start of the Women's Super League as City take on Aston Villa. Our legendary captain, Steph Houghton, looks like she is nearing closer and closer to fitness again. And we spoke to her this week about the start of the new season.
So, Steph, always exciting, the start of a new season. How are you feeling ahead of it?
Yeah, really excited. Obviously, it's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and I think to have everybody back and to have been able to train with everybody for the last couple of weeks, I think everybody just can't wait to get going.
Obviously, we would have started our season against Arsenal last Sunday, but for the passing of Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II. How are preparations going for Villa?
Yeah, I think obviously it was the right decision to do that in terms of postponing the game, and pay our huge respects to the royal family on Sunday, hopefully. And for us as a team, it's been important just to kind of stick to what we do, and we just need to keep taking that into the games.
And looking at Villa as the opponent, they've obviously strengthened in the summer. Rachel Daly's an obvious one to talk about as a member of the England squad from the summer. What sort of threats do you see them posing us on Sunday?
Yeah, I think whenever we've played Villa in the past, and I'm guessing this will be no different going forward, they'll make it difficult for us. They'll want to press and they'll want to be aggressive, and for us it's just about being calm in their moments and really controlling the football and controlling in and out of possession and do what we do. But of course, we've got to respect Aston Villa. They've strengthened, like you said, the likes of Rachel Daly coming in. That's an automatic strengthening for them, and who can play pretty much any position. So we have to respect our opponents, but at the same time, we've got to focus on what we do best, and that's what we've been working on over these last few weeks.
And the games at Villa Park, obviously one of the most iconic stadiums in English football. You're used to playing on the big occasion, a lot of the players are as well. It must be so exciting going into a game knowing you've got that sort of spectacle as well.
Yeah, of course. I think we played Villa Park, which was in the COVID season, which was empty and there was only us there, but fantastic stadium with so much history, and for us to have that opportunity to go and play our football there, all the girls are really excited, and I'm sure there'll be a big crowd to come and watch us as well.
And there's been some big names coming through the door this summer, and obviously some big characters moving on as well. How's the squad potentially changed at all in terms of feel for the season? Yeah,
of course. Obviously, you've got players that have been here for a long time that have moved on to different clubs, and that's football. They've done unbelievable things at Manchester City, and for us, we have to respect that. But at the same time, we have to welcome the new players with open arms, and they've really settled in well. And the vibe's good in the dressing room. It's important that we get to know each other on and off the pitch, and that will take some time, but I think for those that have come in, they've settled in really well and are going to bring something different to the team this season.
You made your return from injury in the Champions League last month, but does the WSL maybe hold a particular level of significance for you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was thinking if we were going to play Arsenal, the last time I did play for City in the WSL was Arsenal, so for me, no matter what competition it is, it's always just nice just to be back on the pitch. It's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of things that have happened in the last 6 months, but for me, I've just wanted to come back here. I've wanted to be around people that I trust and who really believe in us, and my teammates have been fantastic, and just to go out there and go and enjoy my football and know what I do best, and I feel as though I've been training well, so just looking forward to playing some competitive games for City again.
And we're going to this.
Absolutely love Steph Houghton. What a player, what a legend, what a captain. Cannot wait to see her back on the pitch there for Manchester City. Taking on Aston Villa tomorrow at Villa Park. Now, as you can see, the teams are coming back over another side of the Midlands. They're at Molineux. They're coming back out onto the pitch. Get yourself onto the app for all the commentary if you're not already there. Of course, Alistair, Mann and Michael Brown have the best Manchester City commentary for you every single game. It's the only place to hear about the game. So we will all be back, Stephen, Paul and I will be back at full time, where hopefully we are talking about another 3 points for Manchester City. We'll see you then.
Welcome back to Molineux, where City lead by 2-0 and Wolves are down to 10 following the red card to Nathan Collins. I've tried very hard to find anybody who doesn't think that should have been a red card, and